Now let us come to the fourth subtopic, and that is comparing and ordering of integers. Now comparing means, in comparing what we do is we relate one number with the other number and we see which is greater and which is smaller. So let us first draw a number line and then we'll analyze as to which number is greater and which is smaller. So here we have a number line of integers, and we know that on the right we have the positive numbers and on the left of 0 we have the negative numbers. Now here, suppose we want to relate or we want to compare minus 4 with minus 2. Okay? So since I told you earlier that any number on the left is smaller than the number on the right. So these numbers are smaller and these numbers on the right are greater. So therefore, if you want to compare minus 4 and minus 3, we have minus 4 and minus 3. We want to compare these two numbers. Now since minus 4 is on the left of minus 3, so therefore minus 4 will be smaller than minus 3. So we can put the sign of less than. So this means less than. So minus 4 is less than minus 3. Similarly, if you want to compare 3 and 4, we know that 3 is less than 4, or we can say that 4 is greater than 3 because 3 is to the left of 4. So we understand that any number to the left is smaller than the number to the right. Always remember that. So next, we have understood how to compare numbers and how to write them on a number line. So this is what we understood in comparing and ordering of integers. Let us come to the next subtopic, which is absolute number. So let us come to the fifth subtopic, which is called as absolute value of an integer. So here in absolute value, let us understand what is absolute value. First of all, this is how we write absolute value. Okay, there are two lines drawn just beside the number. We have minus 5. Okay, we want to find out the absolute value. Now absolute value of a number is its numerical value irrespective of its sign. I repeat, it's its numerical value. The absolute value of a number is its numerical value irrespective of its sign. For example, the absolute value of minus 5 will be 5. Similarly, the absolute value of plus 5 will also be 5. So basically we understand that absolute value of an integer is its numerical value irrespective of its sign. So similarly, the absolute value of minus 7 will be 7, minus 8 will be 8, plus 8 will also be 8. So it's simply its numerical value. So therefore we understand absolute value is only the numerical value of that number. Let us come to the sixth subtopic. And here in the sixth subtopic, we'll discuss about addition of integers. Let us understand this subtopic very carefully, because this will help you in solving further problems as you will come across. Now let's come to addition of integers. Now let us understand the rule for addition of integers. What I've done is, I've written the operations here. When we have two positive numbers or we have two negative numbers, in that case, always add. The sum of two positive numbers will result in a positive number, and the sum of two negative numbers will result in a negative number. We'll come with the examples later on. So basically you understand that when we have two positive numbers, we add them and write in positive, and when we have two negative numbers, similarly we also add them and write in negative. Now when we have two different signs, for example we have plus and minus, or minus and plus, in that case what we do is we subtract. First we will subtract the smaller number from the greater number. And then we'll put the sign of the greater number. So we basically understand that when we have two positive numbers, we add and write in positive. When we have two negative numbers, we add and write in negative. And when we have two different signs, we first subtract and then we'll put the sign of the greater number. Let us deal with it with some examples. Here we have 4 plus 4 plus 3. So we have two positive numbers, and what we do is we add them and write in positive. So we'll add 4 and 3, we'll get plus 7 or simply 7 as the answer. Similarly, we have minus 4 added to minus 3. In this case also, according to the rule, we will add 4 and 3 will give you 7. But since both the numbers are negative, the answer will be in negative. So plus 4 plus plus 3 gives you plus 7. Minus 4 plus minus 3 gives you minus 7. Let's come to the next two rules. So when we have different numbers, we first subtract. Let us understand this with an example. So here we have plus 4 added to minus 3, and we have minus 4 added to plus 3. So first what we do is, in this case we will subtract. We'll always subtract the smaller number from the greater number. So if we subtract 3 from 4, we'll get 1. Similarly here also we'll get 1. Now check here, then it's written put sign of greater number. So we have subtracted first, we have found out the difference, we have written the answer here, but then what we'll do is we'll put the sign of the greater number. So we'll check here, here it is plus 4 is greater, it has plus sign in it, so therefore the answer will be positive. Similarly, here 4 is greater here, it has minus sign with it, so the answer will be negative. So when you have two different signs, first of all we will subtract, and then we'll see which number is greater, and accordingly we'll put the sign of the greater number. So let me come to it once again. When we have two positive numbers, we'll add and write in positive. When we have two negative numbers, we'll add and write in negative. And when we have two different signs, we'll first subtract the smaller number from the greater number, and then we'll put the sign of the greater number. Let us come to subtraction of integers. As we know, subtraction is the opposite of addition. So here also, let us take an example and we'll understand how to subtract numbers. Suppose we want to subtract 5 from 9. Okay? So 5 is a positive number. We want to subtract it from 9. Now we know that in subtraction, subtraction is the opposite of addition. So therefore what we'll do is, in order to subtract 5 from 9, we will add minus 5 to 9. I repeat, suppose we have 9 here and we have 5 here. Okay? So we want to subtract these two numbers. So when we want to subtract, what we'll do is, we'll simply add minus 5 to 9, because the opposite of subtraction is addition. So when we write addition here, we'll just place minus 5 out here. We'll write the opposite of plus 5, which is minus 5. Now what we'll do is, we'll use the same rule as we have used in addition. So here what we'll do is, we'll take 9. Since this is a positive number, this is a negative number, we'll first subtract. We'll get 4 here. And since 9 is greater and it has plus sign in it, so answer will be plus 4 or simply 4. So first what we'll do is, when we want to subtract 5 from any number, for example, we want to subtract 5 from 9, so what we'll do is, we will add minus 5 to that number. Or when we want to subtract minus 5 from any number, we'll add plus 5 to that number. For example, if you want to subtract, for example, we have 9 and minus 3. Okay, we want to subtract. So what we'll do is, instead of subtracting minus 3 from 9, we will add 3 to 9. So what we'll do is, we'll write the opposite of minus 3. It will become plus 3. So therefore, now we can add 9 and 3 according to the addition rule. 9 and 3 will give you 12 as the answer. Let us understand this. First of all, what we are doing is, when we want to subtract 5 from any number, what we'll do is, we'll add minus 5 to that number. And when we want to subtract minus 3 from any number, what we are doing? We are adding plus 3 to that number, because when we subtract, we just do the opposite of addition. So here, first we'll change this, and then we'll use the same rule as we have followed in addition of integers.